Hey, what's up? I'm Ashley. Thank you for watching this video. And today, we're going to be talking about From Season 2, Episode 3. And let's get started. When it first comes on, we see Boyd in the mirror looking at his arm, trying to see if he got any more worms in it. Then we cut to Boyd and Ellis, where Boyd is trying to explain to Ellis that Sarah pushed him through the tree and he came out somewhere else. Ellis is like, how does that work? That don't make no sense. Where is Sarah? Is Sarah alive? You don't know where you was at. And Boyd don't even know how to tell him nothing. Boyd's just like, I don't know. But why can't you be like, I was in a hole, a rope came down, I climbed up on it, and this guy Martin was tied up to the wall telling me that the darkness was coming. Why can't you say that, Boyd? Ellis is mad. He was like, you said you was gonna come out there and come back with some answers, but you ain't come back with nothing. Boyd was like, whoa. What's wrong with you? No, Boyd. What's wrong with you? You could have been asking Martin some good questions, but no. You was worried about a music box instead. But then we see Ellis telling Boyd that he's worried about Fatima and that last night got really bad and he feels like she's losing herself and he feels like the only people who make it there hold on to a part of themselves, but he's feeling like Fatima isn't holding on to anything anymore. And Boyd's telling him, you just have to make sure that you're that part of her that this place can't take away. Then before Ellis leaves the room, Boyd tells him to make sure he gets Fatima a better ring other than that wire he got her wearing. So it looks like he's not just about to go pick her some flowers. It looks like he's about to go digging for another ring too. Then we see Christy stitching back together Jim's head and we find out that he has 3 cracked ribs and possibly a bruised lung. He's still trying to sit up in the bed. I don't know where he think he going. Christy said, lay back down. Don't make this worse. You already got lucky. But when Christy, Julie, and Ethan leave the room, Tabitha tells him that the wires were not connected to anything. They were just dangling from the ceiling. So then we see Randall and Donna arguing. They're going back and forth because Randall wants to keep his weapon with him, but Donna's telling him that he can't keep it. He's like, I can't keep my weapon, but you can shoot out the tires on the bus? Make it make sense. Then here comes Boyd walking up. He's like, whoa, what's going on here? He said, I'm Boyd Stevens. I'm the sheriff around here, and residents can't keep weapons, so give it up. He's like, I'm not about to go back and forth with you. If you want to keep this rifle, keep it then, and you go out in the woods and find out. F around and find out if you want to. Go ahead and see how long you last out there. So Randall just gave the gun up. He wasn't happy about it, but he gave it up. You didn't see the bus driver lady say nothing. You a believer now, huh? So then we see Tabitha, Julie, and Ethan at the diner, and Tabitha goes up to Kenny's mom, and Tabitha's telling her that she knows that she's in charge of the supplies there, and she's just wondering if she can go through the storage because they lost everything when their house crumbled down to the ground. And of course, Kenny's mom is like, yeah, go to the storage and get anything you want and need. Oh, and by the way, you can come live with us too. That house is crowded. It's about to become the new colony house. Donna is trying to find out from Boyd what happened to him out there, but Boyd's not giving her nothing. He's not telling her anything. But before that, he asked her what are the supplies looking like, and she said it's not good because the storm wiped out half of the crop. She tells him that the bus had 25 people on it, but since people died last night, it's about 22 now, but they're going to have to get really serious about rationing out the food to people. So they about to be fighting over the food. That's why y'all should have just let them people stay outside like they wanted to. Y'all don't have enough food to share. I'll be hungry. If you tell me you want to stay outside, I'm going to let you stay outside. Then it cuts to Kenny and Ellis fixing and checking all of the animal traps. Well, Kenny is checking and fixing all of the animal traps. Ellis is picking some flowers for Fatima. He's like, can you put them flowers down and come help me over here? Dang! Kenny is doing all the work. So Kenny is checking all of the animal traps and he notices that a rod is missing from one of the traps. Right when they notice that, they both hear music playing from the cell phone. So they run over there to see what it is. And when they go see what it is, they see this girl with a rod stuck in her head, pinned to the tree. It's the same girl that we saw in last week's episode who was in the bar with that guy when the monsters came knocking on the door, and we didn't get to see at the time the monsters at the door. When they first saw this girl, they thought that she was dead, but they found out real quick that she wasn't. She started breathing hard. They fell back to the ground. They was like, what's this? Ellis was like, go get Christy right now. Then Kenny ran up out of there to go get Christy. We see Victor back at his room at the colony house, and as as soon as he gets inside, he knows that someone's been in his room. He starts looking under the bed and he's freaking out. He's like, no, 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 no. Then the girl with one eye, who got the glass in her eye in episode 1, walking around with an eye patch on, sees Victor and she's like, oh, I'm so happy you're alive. We lost so many people last night. I was scared for you. He's like, F all that. Who's been in my room? She said, well, I did see Jade and Ethan up here last night. So he runs up out of there. He's like, excuse me, get out my way. So Victor pulls up to Jade's house where Jade is playing the violin. He's knocking at the door. He's like, bang, 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 bang. And he keeps banging until Jade actually goes and opens up the door. And when he does, he's like, that's mine. That's mine. Give it back. Give it back to me. That's my room. You don't go in my room. Jade finally gives it back to him after he was like, I just wanted to play it for a little bit. So Victor walks away with his violin, angry, as he should be, and Jay goes to chase after him. He was like, I'm sorry, you're right. I never should have went in your room. I thought you was dead. But I've been seeing these symbols everywhere. And then he shows him the symbols that he's been seeing. Then Jay shows him the picture that he has of him in the background when he was a kid walking with his little lunchbox. He was like, this is you, ain't it? This could be a clue to us getting out of here. Don't you want to go home? And all Victor says is, this isn't yours. You never should have touched this. Stay away from me. The thing is, I think Victor is already home. How you gonna help him get home when he already home? And I think he knows that man in that picture too. He's just not saying nothing. And he's irate right now. You just went to his room and took his violin. You don't know how to talk to nobody, Jade. Mary is still upset with Christy. She's telling her that she doesn't think that she should stay with her there, and that she thinks that she should stay with the people that she came with on the bus, and she just needs some more time. You want to live with them people you don't know? You that mad when she's telling you what's going on and you know what's going on, and you want to go live with some strangers? And she's mad over this rock that she painted for her. What is the issue with this rock? You should be happy that she's still keeping it. Then Kenny busts through the door. He's like, it's an emergency. Christy, come with me. Then that's when we get back to Ellis and Kelly, who's pinned to this tree. And Kelly's telling him that it doesn't hurt, blah, 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 blah. They're having some small talk. And then she tells him what happened last night at the bar. She says the monsters came knocking at the door. She said they came in and dragged them out and told her that they wanted to play with her and made her watch Brian get tore up, or whatever they did to Brian, they made her watch it. Then that's when Kenny and Christy comes walking up. Christy is checking the girl out, trying to see if she can help her, but she sees the damage and she knows right away she cannot help this girl. Then we see Jim getting out of the bed after Christy told him to stay laying down. He can't listen. He gets up and he stands on top of this chair to try to check the wires out, since Tabitha told him that the wires weren't connected to anything. So I don't know what he thought he was going to do, but he got his injured self up with his bruised lung and 3 cracked ribs and stood up in that chair. Then the old lady from the bus comes in looking for Christy, but she's not there. So she's telling him, okay, I'll just come back later. But then Jim stops her and he asked her, where were you going? And she was like, I just got on the bus and I was headed to the racetrack. Then Jim falls down because he shouldn't be standing up anyway, let alone standing up in a chair. So Mary comes running in. She's like, I'm going to go get you some aspirin or something. And the old lady's like, I'll stay here with him. And while she was staying there with him, she dropped some tea. He was hot. She was like, did you know that's Christy's fiance? Yeah. Mary rode up in here on the bus. What are the odds of that? We see Fatima and Elgin talking, and he asked her how long has she been there. And she said, I just had my 1-year anniversary. And then he asked her, is there any water around here, like a lake or anything? And she's like, yeah, we have the Brundles. He's like, can you take me to it? So she takes him to the Brundles, and he's like, why is it called the Brundles? And she says, I don't know. It was called that when I got here. He told her that this is the place that he saw in his dream that he had on that bus. We need to hurry up and find out what his dream was about. Is it something in this water? Do we need to drain this lake? What made him throw up? What made him have all these seizures? What's going on with the Brundles? We get back to them at this tree, and Christy is telling them that even if they were in the hospital, this would be a 15-hour operation and that she's just going to have to pull it out of her head. And Kenny's like, well, why don't we just make it easy for her and pow her in the head? And Christy's like, no, I'm not going to let her go out like that. But you would rather her go out by you pulling it out of her head slowly and painfully. Like, make it make sense. Take me out real quick. But Kelly asked Christy if she was going to die. And Christy was like, yeah, you are. It's only a matter of time. Tabitha and Julie were going through the clothes at the storage that Kenny's mom told them that they can go through. And of course, Julie is in there complaining. She was like, how come I'm in here with you, but you let Ethan go pick out some toys? Girl, you want to go pick out some toys? But as they're leaving the place, Tabitha sees these two bald-headed kids with no shoes on staring at her. But Julie can't see them, only Tabitha can. And this looked like the same bald-headed kids, at least one of them, that was in the cave that she was just in with Victor. Why are these bald-headed kids following Tabitha around? Did something latch onto her when she was in that cave? Are these kids really here and they're like ghosts and only certain people can see ghosts? Or are they just in Tabitha's head? And if so, how? Why? It has to do something with that cave. Boyd went to Abby's grave and he's telling her, how is it possible that Martin, who never even met you, knows who you are and he knows your name? How is it possible? Maybe this is a dream. Are we dreaming? Is this a dream? Now you got questions, Boyd, that your dead wife cannot answer. You should have been asking Martin all these questions, but no, you was worried about a music box. I can't get over that. Julie asked her mom, what happened back there? What did you see? Tabitha admitted to seeing something back there, but then she started talking about Thomas and how sometimes she used to hear and see Thomas after he died. Julie says, so this was like Thomas, and Tabitha's like, no, this wasn't peaceful at all. You think? What an example to give. You're going to compare your dead child to these evil, bald-headed, dirty, no-shoes wearing kids? We get back to this tree again, and Kelly can hear things that nobody else can hear, and then she starts screaming out loud. Thank God it wasn't dark outside. Then Boyd comes running up. He's like, what's going on here? They explain to him what's going on, and he's like, get out of here. Why do they gotta get out of there? Why can't they stay there with the girl with the tree stuck to their head? They been there with her this whole time, getting her through it, trying to get her through it. And here you come running up, talking about get out of here. Christy said, I'm not going nowhere. So Boyd goes over to Kelly. He introduces himself to her. She tells him her name. And then he just pulls the stick out of her head. And then that's the end of Kelly. But before R.I.P. Kelly, we found out that the cell phones don't work there because she wanted to call her mom to let her know what's going on. But they told her the cell phones don't work. Maybe you can write a letter. So she was like, okay, tell my mom I'm sorry I didn't hug her because she was mad at her over something stupid and she didn't want to hug her. I bet you want to hug her now, huh? Christy had a long day. So when she got back to Mary, she was like, please just stay here with me. Don't go and live with them strangers. So it looks like Mary isn't going anywhere now and maybe she can't forgive her. And then we get to the diner where Ellis asked Fatima to marry him and she said yeah, so maybe we're going to be seeing a wedding. I don't want to see no wedding. I don't know about y'all. I want to get down to what's really going on out there, not no wedding. Then we see Ethan playing outside on the porch, stacking up this puzzle that he got from the storage when he was with Kenny's mom. And then his mom, Tabitha, comes walking out talking about, I want to talk to you. And Ethan's like, yeah, I already know. This place is dangerous. It's nothing to play with. I promise I'll be careful. She's like, okay. Then she looks at the puzzle that Ethan's making and then she flashes back to the time that she was in that cave and she remembers this same puzzle getting knocked down. And then she looks up and sees those same two bald-headed kids staring at her at the porch. She was like, come on, get up. Let's go in the house. Ethan got up with his little stick. He didn't know what was going on. We see Donna messing around with some plants and she's upset and she's frustrated. And then Boyd comes walking in. He tells her that there was a girl named Kelly and the monsters dragged her out to the woods, stuck a metal rod through her head and pinned her to the tree. And he told her that he had to pull it out. And that she was telling Ellis that the monsters also got her boyfriend Brian and made her watch what they did to him. Then Boyd starts talking about his first time in Iraq and him driving back to the command center with a couple more people and how they drove through an IED and how some people died on impact. He goes on to say that one of the guys that died in his arms' name was Brian Kelly. So he's standing there, he's overthinking and he's trying to connect the two situations. But do y'all think those two things are connected or is he just overthinking? Donna was telling him that she's feeling awful about being in charge and people dying on her clock. It's really affecting her and getting to her. Then she starts yelling at him because she's feeling like she can't take it anymore. She wants him to tell her what happened out there, but he's still not trying to tell her anything. Then she's like, okay, you don't want to tell me, fine, but I need to know that you got yourself together and that you're here and you're going to have everything under control. He's like, okay, chill. Dang. And then we see Kenny at his house and he hears a noise. So he pulls out his weapon and he got his little light and he's trying to see what it is. And he goes down to the basement. He's like, hello, who down here? As he's going down the stairs, we can see that the basement is creepy and dark. It got some random furniture down there. And then, look who it is. Sarah. Where Sarah come from? Did the tree take her here? Is this where she been all along? Did the tree bring her there? I'm glad Sarah is back. Maybe we can finally get some answers to our questions. And I want to know what y'all think about that girl who was pinned to the tree. Do you think it's a bigger story around it? Because there was a lot of time focused on that girl pinned to the tree. I don't remember the monsters doing anything like this before. They're doing some new things. But let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments so we can talk about it. And if you haven't already and want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.